All right, we're going to continue along, and I think I'm a little more awake right now than in the first video. I apologize if I was falling asleep. Uh, but it's so exciting, it's got me all energized now. So these problems have really got me going. I probably won't be able to sleep for a couple days now. When budgets are used for evaluation, we're doing number 4. I think the answers show up on your screen the way they do on mine. I'm not sure how that works. It sort of looks like there was invisible ink that somehow this program's able to see. This was supposed to be just from the practice without the answers, but be that as it may, we'll get 100% right. When budgets are used for evaluation, what is the difference between budget and actual? It's a budget variance. That's the word we use. We don't call it the other items. You could look at this as just as a question of what kind of jargon do we use, or you could say, really, why do we use the particular title that we do? Well, it's a budget versus actual, so the word budget's in there, budget variance. It's not necessarily just performance results. That's what the actual is. We're not talking about flexible budgets. We'll see what that is in the next problem. And exceptions, yeah. I mean, budget variances are budget variances are probably not exceptions. They're expected. I don't think anybody expects the budget to come out on any line item 100% unless it's a contractual amount known ahead of time. It just doesn't. It's not going to happen. So the best definition is budget variances. All right, question number 5, which is also based on chapter 10. This is our flexible budget type question. How did I know? I'm not going to explain how I know that. That's what professors are able to do. They're able to figure these things out. That's a flexible budget question. When you get to be a professor, you'll know how to do it as well. All right, so what do they want you to do? They want you to figure out what would be the income before taxes, meaning this number here, the equivalent of this number there, if indeed the budgeted amount was 84,000 units instead of 80. When would we do this? Well, here's our budgeted amount, 80,000 units, but we found out that we actually did 84,000. So the best way to do budget variance analysis is to flex the budget for the actual units produced, and that's what we're doing here. So that's when you would do it. This is a practical, real-life type of example, what we do in the real world. So let's see how this works out. What we're going to be basically doing is we're going to be looking to, quote, revise the budget based on the actual 84,000 units. So going back, let's just go line by line. Sales was 80,000 units. How much was that per unit? 360,000 divided by 80,000 units. So if you divide 80,000 units here, do the 80, the K, you're going to get $4.50 per unit. So that's how much the sales price is. Now we can compute sales at 84,000 units. So multiply 450 times 84,000, and you'll get, we hope, you get 378. So we're going to start an income statement on a blank piece of paper. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Here we go. So we'll say the sales will be 378 based on what I just did. Hoping that's right. Now going back, let's flex the budget some more. Direct materials will change based on the number of units. So you could do direct materials at 128,000 over 360 will tell you the percentage of direct materials in the budget for 80,000. That percentage turns out to be 36%. So of the sales price in our new projection, let's make the 3 a little bit better. In our new projection, 32% is going to be direct materials. So 32%, I hope I got the right number, 36% of 378, that's what we found. It's 134.4. Of course, that'll be a subtraction. All right, so what am I doing? I'm equating variable costs to the sales. Direct materials is a variable cost at 36%. That's what it was running historically, so we expect it to run the same historically in the future. Direct labor, the same thing. It's a variable cost. So it will vary in direct proportion. So it looks like it's 10%. 36 of 360, 10%. So now we'll do that over here. 10% of this number would be 3,700. So that'll be our direct labor. And we're moving the flexible budget right along. All right, so making some room. What do we got? We got variable overhead. Well, that's the same as direct materials, direct labor. It's going to result in an exact percentage change based on the new number of units, the new sales amount. So 32,000 over the projected sales of 360 is a percentage of, or something like 89%, or 8.9%, 8.9%. So let's do the same over at the 378, the new sales projection amount, and we get 33,600. So that's our variable overhead, and we're rolling right along. Now we go to fixed overhead and fixed selling. Those won't change. That's what we understand now about fixed expenses. They're going to stay the same. The total is 22. Bring that over here, 22,000. And let's do the math. I didn't do it before. So 378, the new sales amount minus all the other projected expenses on our flexed budget. We flexed our budget. And we're going to get, hopefully, the right answer. I get, mathematically, 152. Let's see if that's 150. Is that an answer? There we go. Now I can go back to sleep. What a day. All right, let's see if we can tackle the next one, because I think